This is the Guitto GGS-06 guitar stand. It's an A-frame design. It has a locking clasp here, and it had a screw bolt here that secured this A-frame. That took about 3 to 4 months before it de-threaded, and now it won't screw in at all. So that's a major fail, because here's my $10,000 guitar sitting on it, and it actually has a bit of movement. See that? It hasn't fallen off, thank goodness. And I use it every day, several times a day, but it's disconcerting. This mechanism here, I really like this. This works really well, this clip. It's nice and strong, it's stable. You can see it's a healthy spring inside there. Looks like an average metal, but it's a fairly good size spring. And also, another issue I found with it, within the first, maybe the first few weeks or 3 weeks, the foam started cracking in certain points down here in the legs. I don't know why it cracked. We did go into the dry season and stuff cracks then, but you know, within 3 weeks it's a bit disconcerting. But having said that, it hasn't progressed that much, but it's definitely not going to last the 5 years I'd like it to. So I think that's a problem they probably need to address, this Guitto brand. And the head component here is pretty good. I really like its design. My guitar is really snug in there. It's actually have to wiggle it out like this. But it's just the right amount of tension for pretty much all my guitars. One little issue with it, when I first got it, it was really stiff, really locked up. But now it's loosened up, and it's great just to flip and flop like this. It works fine. But I find when I'm carrying it, sometimes it'll just get knocked and then it'll just flop out like that, and it's flopping around. It's a little bit on the annoying side. I kind of wish there was just a clip you could pull here. Pull it out, and then this just then is loose at that point. So like a little basic lock. You know, it's a design that they wouldn't have to pay any royalty engineering on, because it's an old-fashioned design that it works. I really like this mechanism that works. It sort of adjusts here, this pressure, so when the guitar pressure's on it, locks the guitar in nice and gently. Really healthy sized hex bolt. This is really secure, this mechanism, which is probably the most important part of it, and they got that right. The stoppers fell off probably in the first few months, and it went back on straight away, but it shouldn't just fall off like that. So maybe they didn't put enough glue on it. I don't know. Overall, for the money I paid, I can't quite remember how much it was. What, like 50 or something? I just wanted something a little bit better. I think the design is really good, but the execution and security is not great. The metal that's on that twisting lock should be better quality metal. This part here is fantastic, and overall this design is excellent here, but I'd rather this be a true locking mechanism on this, because when you're carrying it, it gets knocked and it just flops around and it's a bit annoying. It doesn't happen all the time, but you know, once or twice a week when I'm transporting it. I use it every day at different schools, and I set it up and depack it 2 to 4 times per day, including sometimes in my studio when I practice at night time. Overall, it's still working, but I'm sort of interested in looking at other brands now because of the flaws that are pretty nasty, like this. And this should really be locked in place. Oh, and also too, over time it seems to have grown lopsided, so it's not straight sitting up. Alright, cheers.